Sat here and wrote my first journal on pen and paper, and then I converted that over onto Office or Word file and sent it in. I'm sitting beneath what I believe to be an oak tree. Bushes are manifested among larger and grander trees. It's behind. The rustle of leaves is constantly changing from trees to my west, then to the large tree that I'm beneath, back to the northern trees in what almost seems to be like a sequential pattern. Besides a couple of markers or the paths mowed in one specific route for the convenience of walking, this is what I believe to be nature. The rays from the sun occasionally touch the back of my neck with a bit of extra warmth that is appreciated, especially right now. If there was no sounds of cars or signs of humans, this place would be far from silent still. The noises, while at first aren't very audible, they are most certainly present and coming from many different aspects of life. And it's a pretty nice day outside to just kind of look at the prairie and see all the differences from the beginning of class compared to now. And I think I'm just going to kind of go on a little adventure today. Just walk around. I figured it would be appropriate to just walk. Honestly, throughout the semester, I do believe that my favorite story was walking, and I think that it was mainly because of just how interesting it was, the concept of walking wherever. And interesting. I don't know how much farther I should go, but let's try it. Walk any direction, any way.
I somewhat wish that we would have done this earlier in the semester, so I would have gotten more of the grasslands footage than the cold, wintry footage, but honestly, when I'm watching, it's just kind of relaxing to sit here and look at the snow on the ground, listen to the snow under the feet, and if I could rewrite my journal at all, also, I think I'd talk a lot more about noise and just exactly the difference between the first 2 weeks when it was summertime. You could hear all the critters and such, and the difference of that being mostly crickets and small bugs to becoming a little bit more like hear birds, hear kind of larger animals more often in winter because it's a little bit harder to sneak around with all twigs and branches and snow and dry grass. I do often wonder what would remain in the prairie if it was a world without us, as the book goes. The prairie would seemingly be almost completely untouched. I don't think much would change at all, except for the fact that more animals would likely move into town, and the prairie would probably be a hotspot for a lot of animals to come into. As you have a college right here, which would be shelter for a lot of animals, and there wouldn't be any humans to distract anything.
All throughout the semester, pretty much every other week, we came down here to look at the prairie, and every week it was pretty much, or every other week it was pretty much different things. And throughout the entire semester, I think that my favorite was either transcendentalism or just first couple weeks where we were just viewing. And obviously I think a lot of that had to do with the weather and just being able to actually come out here comfortably without having to worry about snow or, cold weather. Today it's a little bit nicer, so I didn't have so much trouble. But I really enjoyed writing that first journal about the moth, or the monarch. monarch butterfly, and I wish that I would have seen a little bit more wildlife, especially today. I think I saw a squirrel, but that was pretty much it. And yeah, like I said, I think the best week was the first week when we were just getting into it. But I now kind of have more of a feel for the prairie. I kind of understand a little bit better, which I didn't know anything about the prairie. Kind of really didn't even know this piece of land existed. I saw it every day, but I didn't really care for it. So I think that throughout the nature writers course, that the prairie's kind of grown on
With
me.
that said,
Right?
I'd like to close the semester by saying that I think I've learned a few things from the prairie, and I hope to use some of this in the future.